Second point I have here, and again, I think this is something that is much overlooked, and that is that our guests are not all the same, right? So if I was asking a revenue manager, and I know Christoph is a revenue manager here, so what type of guest would you like to have in your hotel? He would say probably, I would like to have the multi-repeat guest that comes back through my own channels that I don't have to pay some OTA for, and my cost of acquisition is low. My discretionary spend around that guest, because they understand my brand and they understand all the things that I have in my hotel and across my hotel brand, very high. Therefore, they obviously are brand loyal. They want to spend money. So when you look at your hotel guest and you have a focus between the one-nighter, only-nighter guest and the guest that might stay with you 50, 60 nights a year, where are you going to pitch your solution? For whom are you going to pitch your solution? I strongly feel that our industry, up to this point, has focused really on dumbing down our solutions for that one-nighter only ever.
Yeah.
At the expense of the guest that we really want, which is that multi-repeater. And I would be much more comfortable, indeed am much more comfortable, in building solutions targeting that multi-repeat customer who has that brand loyalty, has already some understanding of the ecosystem, and can therefore just slot into the technology ecosystem that we offer because it's familiar to him or her. They have it already at home, rather than trying to build something for that one-nighter. That one-nighter for me can really be somebody that has a solution maybe on their iPad or something like that. Maybe that's what they want. So I think that's an important point, and it's not one that I've hear a lot of people talking about.
Yeah, that is some very valuable, very important point. Absolutely, for sure. I mean, Christoph, I don't know if you've got anything to add. I know you're not really here on commenting, but seeing as we've brought up the revenue management side, and also I know you have some questions, I think, from the audience that you'd like to jump in with. So over to you.
Thank you, James. So we do have quite a few questions here. Thank you very much to William Grand Park, who asks, although you want to have the most available service within the room to enhance guest experience and to boost revenues, would it be more profitable for a hotel to encourage the guest to use the service as opposed to staying in the room, which have a higher return rate, such as ancillary services?
Yeah, I see. Interesting point. So thanks for that, William, and good to see you. Good to see you on here. So basically, I think the question he's getting at is, yes, we want to offer a lot of services through technology in the room, but would it be most beneficial to actually have less focus on having the guest in the room using those services and driving them towards the bar, the food, the spa? Well, it's an interesting point. I'll give my view on that one first and then open up the floor, because I'm interested to hear on that. One piece I always talk about is, and many people have different views on this, and it depends on the type of hotel, but is the sports. And one of those key things is perhaps it is great to offer the technology in the rooms. It's great to offer solutions because maybe you might, by having a guest in the room, they may well be inclined toward a room service, which of course you can make very clever packages around with movie themed room service deals to go with Netflix, of course, which does enable them to generate revenue by guests who are perhaps not spending by staying in the room. But also, of course, if you have sports, it's very common to have live sports on in the bar. So while you have maybe some services in the room, then the sports will drive footfall to your bar. So that's my kind of thoughts on that. But I don't know if anybody else wants to jump in on that one.
Yeah, I don't mind jumping if that's all right, James. So, I think the question is well posed, because obviously if the guest is in the bar or in the restaurant or the spa, they're spending money, but they will go to their room. They're going there to sleep ultimately. So that is an additional opportunity for you to create more revenue for when they leave the public spaces of the hotel, and to promote access to those areas that create revenue. So, if in the room you can, whether it be by mobile app, via TV, via tablet, it's kind of up to the hotel, but to promote those other areas like in-room dining or booking spa treatments, if you go into a hotel and you're staying for one night or even 2 nights, you're probably not familiar with all the services. So if they can be extended to you visually when you're ready, not in your face, then you're probably more encouraged to use them. And let's face it, if you went to a hotel and all there is still this, printed guide, A to Z of hotel services, laundry, etc., and you still see them right in hotels.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't even bother looking at it. And if it's a room service menu, it's normally just black and white print. It's not very exciting. So if you can use these, technological solutions to give big quality images, high resolution, make it nice and fast and snappy, lots of choice, then you can drive revenue. And I know for a fact that a number of our customers that are in the 4-star space that do offer in-room dining have seen a 23 to 25% increase in their in-room dining. So, a revenue can be created from the TV if it's done right. But it's unfortunately become a misconception that it doesn't add value anymore.
No, I mean, I 100% agree with you, Darren, 100% agree. And I think the key thing you said in there is if it's done right. And I touched on there mentioning about the room service packages and things like that. I mean, that's just a very sort of loose idea, but you see it in 1 or 2 hotels where they have created a targeted offer through whatever delivery mechanism, even if it is that sort of old book that's in the room, which is not the best solution. And I do have some funny anecdotes about that, but perhaps we'll save that for another time. But having those packages that add to the value of and the experience, careful using that word, but the experience of a guest watching Netflix in their room. If you do have a popcorn and drink delivery package that's part of it, all of a sudden you're turning what was a very boring hotel room experience almost into something that's a little bit more exciting and driving revenue. So these are all things that, once you know the kind of profile of the guest you're coming at, that there is real opportunities to drive revenue. I don't know if anybody else on here has got any thoughts on that point and on William's original question.
Well, I might offer a couple of points here. Yes, I don't think you should really focus on the room, to be honest. I think really what we should do is to say, how can we engage the guest through technology at various points throughout the hotel? And we have to remember that the hotel is essentially a mobile experience, right? Our guest is mobile throughout the space of the hotel. And unfortunately, the experiences in many hotels to date are essentially anonymous, right? Once you step outside the guest room, we've lost you. You're moving. We don't know where you are. So I think we have an opportunity as technologists to use the technology that the guest has, the devices that the guest has, whether that be a watch or a phone or whatever we may come up with in the future, and to intelligently encourage through those devices some sense of belonging to the hotel. So let me give you some examples. Meeting rooms, right? Mm-hmm. Meeting rooms, great underused inventory. How many times have you been in hotels where from 6 o'clock at night, the meeting rooms, unless they're being used for social events, are completely and utterly empty?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, why target those spaces? If I said to you as a multi-repeat guest, I know that you like, you're in the UK. I know that you like Chelsea Football Club, and Chelsea Football Club is playing Ajax in Amsterdam tonight. If you'd like to get a few of your other guests together, I will give you a meeting room free of charge for you to watch the game with your mates, and I can do that intelligently through some messaging that's low cost, high value. A quick,
absolutely
simple. That is an intelligent use of technology, and what it needs is you to be bought in to an ecosystem. So I need you to have signed up somehow, to have joined my hotel ecosystem so that I can communicate with you properly. If you do that, then I can give you high value rewards, right? And to do that, what we need is you, when you come into the hotel, that you immediately form part of that ecosystem. You don't have to sign up for something each and every time you come in. So what it requires is some pre-existing identity that you have on your phone that the hotel knows about, and that when you come into the network area of that hotel, you're automatically added. You are there, and I can communicate to you. Right, and
Absolutely.
so that's just another example of what you might have in the that you might see in the guest room. We have meeting rooms, we have spas, we have restaurants, we have so many other different products that we can target to the guest in an intelligent, value-added way, and that they will get a tremendous benefit from. But it requires them to participate in the ecosystem.
Yeah,
and it's not a dream either. This technology exists. You know, what Nick's talking about there is all available now. If you want to do it, you can do it.
Very much.
Absolutely.